Good morning, everybody. Looks like everything's working. Hope you're having a good Saturday. I believe it should be Saturday for pretty much everybody. Okay, well, except for like Australia and Japan are next day, but by too small that I doubt any of them are here. So. Gonna warm up a little bit. Hopefully, nothing too crazy. Legs are probably gonna revolt today, but we're here for a workout, so we'll see. Two of these courses are gonna destroy me anyway, so. Because the first one is always rough. Titans Grove Reverse is hell for me. I have never done well on Titans Grove Reverse. And then Rooftop KOM is brutal. And then I can't remember the one in between, but then we also have London, which Northumberland is. In race 4, that's gonna be great. So we'll see what happens today. I do not expect to do amazing, just because the roller coaster tour is not my forte. Let's say this is one of those like sections where it doesn't really matter how I'm feeling. I'm going to struggle. It's just the nature of the courses and my power profile. And my power profile has not changed since the last time I've done this section of courses. Or, I don't know. English is hard in the morning. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. My mind's not awake. So, this is a pretty good group to kind of chill warm up with. Not too easy, not too hard. Kind of a nice, easy ride in. Try to get more kilometers on this bike so I can get it upgraded. I think there's a chance this might get upgraded today, but I don't think I'll do enough Ks. It'll be close. I think when I finished last, there was less than 25 kilometers left on it. And I don't plan on racing tonight, so I don't need an extra hindrance. I'm not gonna make my life harder than it is. Just hope my legs keep up a little bit today, because my recovery score this week has been in the trash. But there's a lot going on, so I'm not entirely surprised. It is what it is. There's only so much I can do about that. I got a lot of sleep, and I think I've reduced my sleep debt, but too much stress. So, I think I'm at like a 61%, which almost green, but not enough. It's not red like I was for 2 days. I knew it was coming though. I was red twice after that racing on Wednesday. Based on how that felt, I knew I was going to be red because I was yellow when I did the racing, so there's no chance that it was going to get any better. My body's just all over the place right now. Which, ironically, December I usually get sick. So if I'm just having red and yellow days but not getting sick, I guess that's a win? It's an improvement? So. I gotta pick my battles, and not being sick is a win. Now, we're still early in December, so there's plenty of time for me to get sick. But usually, it's like in the first week. So, usually. So, here's hoping that in time, my recovery will pick up a little bit. I always debate about doing the Festive 500, but every time I've talked about doing it is, unfortunately, when I get sick. Kind of like my curse as I talk about, like, oh, maybe this year I'll do it, and then, but. So, I'm not going to think about it. If it happens or I try it, cool. If not, whatever. There's too much other stuff going on. I'm fine with not thinking about it this year and just kind of seeing what happens naturally. $10 to 15 minutes until we start hopping in the pens. And see how brutal race 1 is going to be, because race one is going to be one of the hardest ones. Race 1 and 3, I think. That's just over a 60-second effort in race 1 at full bore, and that's a match burner. And like, when I say a match burner, that's a permanent match burner. That is one you will not get back for the 4 races. You go all in on race 1 and you're not getting that back. That's done. So, this set of tiny races is almost like pick your battles. Because if you can do all 4 and be at the front, probably should cat yourself up. Because like, if you podium 3 of the 4, I hope it moves you up, because these are brutal. If you have that kind of repeatability, you belong racing against higher levels. Two out of 4. There's 2 that are similar, so... Well, actually, technically, I guess 3 ends on a downhill, but the difference is going to be made on the uphill. We'll play it by ear. But for race 1 and 3, top 50%. For the other 2 races, maybe top 3rd, depending on how burnt out I get. Because I'm not super hopeful about race 1 and 3 with how bearish of those kickers and climbs are. Because I'll be honest, race 1 on the lead-in to the reverse Titans Grove KOM, though the lead-in usually burns me. Because those rollers into the base are brutal. And people don't take them easy, so I don't expect that to change. I expect it to be just as brutal as always. Looking at my Scotty Squirrel, I think if I finish out this week's stint and do one more ride next week, I'll get the plush Scotty. Not the quote-unquote live version, but the next step up, I think, is at 12 weeks? Or 11, I don't know. I think I'm close to it, if I remember right. My goal is to not lose a streak again. It's been unfortunate lately. I want to get back to the point where I have a streak freeze to save me again. Because if you get sick and you don't have a big streak and you don't have a freeze, it's like, well, that sucks. There's not much you can do about that. The tough thing if I want to keep the streak, because it's just a pride point, but you get sick and you don't have a freeze, it's like, well, you telling me I I gotta ride through sickness or what? That sucks. Don't advise. Do not advise. And for anybody curious, the tiny race timer on the left will not show up because I'm technically in an event. It is less than 30 minutes. It's about 16 right now. I think 16 minutes or so. So, we're getting there. It's just a warm-up. I feel like race 1 today is going to be a shock to the system and my body's not going to be happy. My heart rate being as high as it is for the effort I'm doing is concerning. So, we'll see if my body comes around or not, but it's not giving me great signals, which is always fine. I'd love for once lately if my body be like, yeah, you feel great. Go for it. Oh. Not right now. Oh well. It is what it is. I'm not going to sprint this time, but I might do a little bit so I at least hit zone 3-4. Kind of shock the legs a little bit, and then I'll just ease. That is the one bad thing about a steady group ride with a fence. There's no true variability. This one, they have sprints every lap, but it's only one sprint. So, but it does stretch the group a little bit. But at least they drop the fence, so. I will not even remotely touch the top of the leaderboard with the effort, but that's not the point. Alright. Waiting for the fence drop and the push. There's the fence drop. Wait until we see. Where is the green marker? There it is. Alright. Just a little bit of a push. No sprint. Just shake up the legs. we go. Shake up the legs a little bit. And now we ease back to the group. And settle in for recovery. At least they don't have the crisper on the fence yet, so it's more of a get your butt back here. You will be cooked eventually, just not yet. Got a couple more minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes left in this group before we hop into the pens. There we go. Hopefully that kind of shakes the body awake, settles the heart rate a little bit. Would be nice, at least. Looking over at OBS reminded me, it was so funny. I have somebody that's trying to email me about SEO for my YouTube videos. I'm like, I don't care. And I did one of the like automated systems of like, what can you do better for SEO? And it's like 3 of the things: more subscribers, more views, more likes. And I'm like, duh. How do you think I'm gonna get those? Stupid thing. I just need you to be more popular. Yeah. Duh. What a useless suggestion. I just need you to reach more people, and then your SEO will be great. Yeah. You got any tips for that? Gotta love stupid systems like that. One of them was like an actual thing, but 3 out of the 4 were just absolute garbage. Just do better. Thanks. I'll get right on that. I'll just do better. Thankfully, I'm not trying to be popular. So I 100% know what I would need to do to get my channel to be bigger. I just don't have the time or the care. If I had an editor, cool. Maybe. But I'm not doing editing anymore, so it's straight to upload videos. That's it. I've spent my time doing the mass amount of effort, but no. I'm not wasting my time anymore. It's not worth it. Zwift is so niche, there's only so many people you can bring in anyways. It's the unfortunate situation. Oh yeah, exactly like that. Thanks. Yep. What a perfect timing for that crap. Oh my god, that's so good. Stupid bots. Oh. Just talking about how much of a joke systems like that are, and there it is. Yep. Man, I could not have timed that better. Thanks, bot. Dumb thing. talking about SEO and getting more subscribers, and it's like, oh, here's viewers. Thanks. Totally gonna go buy viewers, because that's absolutely... Oh my god. Oh, right, race 2 is New York. Oh god. Why? Why am I doing this? Why am I stupid? Alright, we got 93 people, so that's gonna be fun. By fun, I mean living hell, but, you know? What's the difference? Oh, only 4 kilometers. Okay, I might have to, at some point, ride 4 kilometers after the racing to get that level up. Alright. I'll be right back, chat. I'm gonna go run to the bathroom. Enjoy the bod. Alright. Ready for misery. Let me change my music. If you want a really good radio on YouTube music, just put on Philosopherdamus or Reaper. Super good music. Yeah, okay, cool. That's correct. If you don't know who either of those artists are, I'm sorry. You're missing out. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, so. But it's good. Highly recommendable. It's fun to scare people who haven't done this before. Just go fast and see what happens. Yeah, basically. There's not much strategy with these, anybody. It's just hold on. All right. Making poor choices once again. 20 seconds to go. Ten seconds. Roller coaster tour. Hell begin. This is my weakness. This one is not good for me. Okay, I said go hard, not that hard. Who's wasting their feather? That was an interesting start. I've never seen it gap like that immediately. I won't lie, I pushed more than I should have, but I was nervous. I've not seen it do that before. Definitely been a rough start. What do you think I've been doing, Basalt? Do you see my average? $240. Way over FTP. And we haven't even started. They've already caused 2 pretty big splits. Before we even gotten the reverse, we've lost a third. More people using the feather? That's kind of the point.
Hello there.
Hey, Peter. This is probably the most brutal entrance this I've ever had. This is insane. Hey, go. No, we've got the reverse KOM. Oh, it sucks, Gavin. Sure. Holy hell. That's not what I want to do. No. Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. That sucked. I don't think we've ever gone that hard on that course. My god. Come on, Zwift. Load. Come on. Oh my god. I think I just burned so many matches it's not even funny. Because we're in New York now. Just know that's probably the best race you're getting from me today. Oh my god. That hurt. I'll be curious if everybody makes it into the pen. That was longer than it should have been. Holy hell. Oh. A little over 11 minutes. It's one of the longest ones I've done in a while. We had 3 minutes cooldown. Especially for that being 100% flat out effort. I am actually glad I stayed with the front because the people in the back kept suffering. I'm in Cat D, so I don't know. All right, 2 seconds. The next one I'm going to get dropped. This next one is Rooftop KOM. I don't know why that one felt so long, though. Because we were not going easy. But that definitely burned some matches. What's with these splits? People can't be that tired. I will say I did better than I thought on first race. That's for sure. But how much am I gonna pay for that? Because I blew some serious matches. Frank. Hey, for the raid. Welcome, welcome. I'm being stupid. Doing tiny races. Ugh. The first one hurt. It's like 11 and a half minutes. And now it's New York. So there's no cooldown. And I hit negative W bell in first. So I'm cooked. You can see how strung out the group is. Oh, I'm holding it. It's Rooftop Rendezvous after this. Ah. This is painful today. This next one's gonna suck. It's Rooftop Rendezvous. Yeah, I don't know why the finish screen didn't show. But I don't have time to stick around. I gotta go warm down. Something like 19th or 20th. Which is perfectly fine. That's better than I thought. I just didn't want to launch any earlier because I don't have a ton of matches left. And I know this one's going to... I will honestly be shocked if I survive near the front group with this next one. This will be very hard. Oh, I'm excited to get my new saddle. It's almost here. I don't think I'll get it before Monday, but... Oh yeah, have you not done Rooftop Rendezvous? Rooftop Rendezvous is almost exclusively just the Rooftop KOM in Macquarie. It's literally like 1K lead in, up, down, banner. So it's all climbing. And the last one is London. Really lumpy lead in, Umberland, and then finish. Umberland on the next one's gonna be the hardest part on race 4 because everybody's gonna be toasty. So if anybody joins who is new, like didn't do the first 2 or 3, they're gonna be brutal. But Rooftop KOM, it's gonna be rough. I'm gonna hold as long as I can, but it's a pure watt per kilo fight. There's some draft, and we'll see if the new update helps, but my watt per kilo does not match their watt per kilo. So it's literally just gonna be try to go 100%. Hi, bath salts. I have your card framed on the wall now. I mean, technically I have everybody's card framed on the wall, but yours isn't. I have all 100 cards framed in 6 different frames. So basically, every season is framed individually. There's really cool card holders for a frame at Michael's that I bought. Really nice. Holds 20 cards, so I just have 2 back-placed cards. No. I posted in Discord, but I will fully admit I've dropped the ball this year. I have them. Penguin and I have just been going through a lot. For anybody who hasn't seen it in Discord, one of my direct family members is dealing with a cancer diagnosis, and one of Penguin's direct family members had a medical emergency, so this year has kind of sucked. So I'm going to try to get them out before Christmas. I can't promise anything, but I will get them to you. I have everything. I just need to get them sorted and sent. It's just, it's one of those tasks that is, and I like this, it sucks to admit, but it's one of those tasks that's been on the side for so long that you stare at it and you go, I feel bad, so I don't want to do it. But that's not the answer. So it's like, it's that just staring at it makes you upset that you didn't do it earlier. So then you get upset and you don't want to do it, which is just this horrible, never-ending cycle. But no, I appreciate it. It's been a sucky year. I won't lie. But we're getting through. So I will get them out. They are sitting, the cards and the postcards are sitting on my desk. I just need to do it. It's just every time that I think I'm going to have time to do it, something comes up. And you don't have to apologize because, I mean, it's fair that you should expect them in your hands by now. I feel horrible that they're not. I will absolutely say that much. Penguin and I are looking at options for next year so that it's not something that's such a burden to try to do, because we've dropped the ball so many years in a row, because it's such a pain to try to get everything in, because that's why we stopped doing trading cards. A, they were expensive. B, they take like 2 months to get in. So by the time you get them, you forgot. And you've moved on to other things that have filled your time, and it's like, well, that sucks. So, it's this really vicious cycle. So we're going to try to do less physical items next year, hopefully. So we're not waiting on things. Because that's the biggest problem. Is the time it takes to get everything in is like 2 months. And then you just, it's off your mind. Oh man, this is going to suck. My legs. Like, did I just warm them down and keep them moving? Yes. But are they thrashed? Absolutely. Man. And for anybody wondering, that I'm not like trying to guilt trip anybody by mentioning that. That's not at all what I mean with that. I just want to be transparent. I don't want anybody to think like, oh, they just don't care. No, we do. Life is sucky. All right, 10 seconds. Oh, this is gonna be miserable. 82 meters of climbing. Oh. But also, if you see me on the bike, it's me trying to clear my head. My bike is my escape. Which is why when people are like, oh, do this, do that, it's like, no. This is my getaway from responsibilities. Hey, Rice. Oh, I am shattered. And this is only race 3. Race 1 was 11.5 minutes. So I had next to no recovery time. So that was fun. And I went negative W bell. So I am dead. I burned matches. Very badly. We have shed 10 people from race 1, so. People are fading. Why did somebody already pop their Anvil? Oh, hell no, I know. It's just, am I suffering worse than the other suffer? On this course, maybe. This course may very well find me out. It's not enough yet. And it's not over. If I pop hard, they can catch. There we go. Last 700 meters is the worst. I do actually... Oh, shoot. I accidentally popped my Anvil. I hit the wrong button. So that's unfortunate. That was an accident. I wasn't looking. Well, that makes this interesting. Here comes the brutal part. Yeah, which is why it sucks that I accidentally popped my Powerup. Because the Powerup is an Anvil. Yeah, I pushed the wrong button trying to get the map. No, there they go. I'll take 6. With no power up? With a power up, I might have won. I shocked myself. See, but then it's better for myself when I do better than I think. I set low expectations, so everything's a win. I would expect nothing else, Rice. Ugh. I'm curious of how hard we're going to hit this one, because we've had very little recovery in between 2 races so far. I think people are going to start hurting real bad. The way that last race shattered, the fact that we dropped a third of the field before we even got to the KOM. Methinks people are starting to falter. So to clarify why I turned on the HUD in the last race, seeing where all of the dips were to gather back a gear or recover was critical. That is such a key thing on that climb, because it tells you where you can gain back a gear, where you need to fight to. 1 second. It's only 78 people? Wow. We've shed like 16 people from race 1. Start of this course is rough though. Yeah, split's already starting. Already lost 20. Nearly missed that. Lost almost half the field. Oh, I believe it. Probably still hard, but not like this. How'd you do? I won't lie, my legs are starting to feel it. Umberland Nav is going to be a very big test. If I can make it over that, I'm good. But it's going to be hard. Be nice if we took it easy, but I know we won't. So I'm just about out of matches. Oh, dang. That's crazy, bath salts. I wish, Rice, but they don't. There's no way to do it right now. Zwift does not see it as a series. They're all individual races. This is Zwift we're talking about. A little more and that would have been it. But no, technically it should be. If you didn't start race 1, you shouldn't be able to start any. I think the second group faltered. This group is stopped though. One last bump. All 4 went infinitely better than I expected. It's very plausible. That's some of the best numbers I've put out consistently. Let's see what that leaves my racing score as. Probably higher than I want it to be. 344, yeah. Yeah. I'll take that though. That was a solid grouping of races. Oh, I'm very tired though. But I'll take it. Ooh. Alright. Ugh. Give me super chill. And the kicker is, according to my Whoop, my recovery was only at like 60%. So, had I been on a great day, man, that would have been an interesting one. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of sauce. Don't need it anymore. Ugh. Those hurt. Those hurt a lot. I don't know if I've pushed that hard in a set of tiny races in a while. That's what I mean when I say that it kind of sucks when you're in a race where you don't feel like you're competitive. Because as soon as you feel like there's a shot that you might be able to do something at the end, it makes all the difference. Like, you can push that little bit deeper because it's like, there might be a result to be had. So, having a shot makes such a big difference. Because let me tell you, my thighs are destroyed. I'll be lucky if I can walk for the rest of the day. I appreciate it, Garrick. I am very happy with those results, I'll be honest. I almost didn't do today's racing, so I'm like, it's gonna be miserable. Hey, how's it going? Is it Rutsero? Let me know if I butchered that and had a better say it. Rutsero or Rupsero? Or is it me butchering it entirely? And if so, I apologize. I am oxygen debted to the max. But hopefully you're doing well. Sounds good, both. Okay. But yeah, that was... I appreciate it. I actually just finished all 4. They were brutal. You are more than welcome if you go back into the VOD. You'll be able to see them, or I'll be posting them on YouTube and just the races. But I just finished the tiny races, which are 4 races in an hour, and my God, they were hard today. But I was, like I said, I almost debated not doing them today because I was like, I don't know if these are good for me. 2 of them are pretty climby. Yes, all of the above. Oh, nice. Yes, the Zwift ride, we have one over there, is 110% worth it. So Vidar, I think I got like 20th twice. Spoilers, by the way, sorry. 20th twice and 5th and 6th. Something like that. So both of the climby races, no. No. The first 2 races were worst placings. Which New York, the main reason that I didn't have a great placing was purely because I was trying to save energy for the last 2. Thanks, Peter. So, but yeah, no, Rutsero, enjoy the Zwift ride. It is very, very much worth it. It is a very, very good piece of tech for riding. I don't endorse things unless I believe in them, and I would be sponsored by that in a heartbeat if it meant that I could get one too. Because that's my wife's, so I don't get to use that one. For anybody interested? Oh, I forgot it's not on my headphones. I was going to have it pop up so you can see what I was listening to. Because if you don't listen to them, you should. If you have never listened to Electric Callboy, you should. It's such a good band. Penguin and I get to see them in the spring, and I'm very excited. It's been on our bucket list of people to see. People, groups. But yeah, so spoiler, Vidar. Going back, thinking about it, I think it was 26th, 19th, or 20th because it didn't pop. 6th and 5th. So ironically, I only got better. Which, I guess, tracks with my ability. The one kicker is I possibly could have won race 3 had I not accidentally dropped my power up trying to turn on the map. I appreciate it. I definitely, zero lie, I did like 10 times better than I anticipated. Thanks, Garrett. I truly did not expect to do amazing. When I started, I think my goal was on race 1 and 3, top 50%, 2 and 4, top 3rd. And I exceeded those quite a bit. Oh, no, sorry. They'll be in the VODs. They're worth watching. If you like watching Zwift racing, I think they're worth watching. They'll be on the highlight. No, not highlight. I guess the past broadcast here, and they'll be uploaded on YouTube later today. I mean, technically, it's on YouTube because it's live, so you can watch the live. And yeah, I do think they're worth watching. I don't always say that, but today I was on my game a little bit. I was being very, very careful with my power. Because I've learned a fair bit. So like race 1, Titans Grove Reverse has always been my nemesis. And the thing that I've started doing that has helped a lot, and who knows if Titans Grove Reverse is a nemesis for you, anybody out there, what I have started doing is on the downhills, shift up a gear, uphill, shift back 1 gear again, crest, take back that gear into the downhill, and basically you're always kind of staying on the same cadence and power. I hate Titans Grove, Bryce. Basically, it kind of allows you to push more power on the downhill and keep your cadence on the uphill. And I mean, it follows the concept of Rollercoaster, which that was Rollercoaster Tour. So that was the big thing for race 1, is push a little extra on the downhill, shift down a gear on the uphill, and then just keep repeating that until you get to the final climb. And then just hold on to your life. Don't burn your feather before the final climb. Race 2 is just New York. Just hold on for dear life. Race 3, for anybody watching race 3, I popped on my HUD for race 3 when we hit the KOM. Because Rooftop Rendezvous, the Rooftop KOM, in the first 2/3, there is a lot of recovery. So basically, I wanted to be able to look for the dips, look for the blue zones, and gain back some gears. That was my major goal, is I wanted to get gears back and find out, like, where could I move back up? Because I knew Rooftop KOM was all about sag climbing for me. So every orange sector, I was going to lose spots. Every blue sector, I needed to gain them back. That was it. That was my only goal. And then race 4, just purely hold on. It's really hard in the beginning, and that's why I pushed to close the split. Because the rollers leading through the line suck. And then Northumberland sucks. Thankfully, they didn't go as hard as I expected. And then there's that last little kick over the bridge. And you've got to be in good enough position going into the underground. Those are kind of all the key pieces. So, thankfully, I've got a lot of experience on the routes to know kind of how to best get out of it. But it's never easy. It was a pretty bad blunder to accidentally pop my power up early in race 3, though. That was bad. Thanks, Huber. But I'm not going to complain at all about my races today. I'm very happy with them. Hey, Jeffro, how's it going? Just on my cooldown. Although my bike should pop for an upgrade here in a second. I don't know why it isn't. I was 4 kilometers away from an upgrade, so... I'm waiting. I love that emote. Oh, that's good. Okay, 10 points. Jeffra. Now all I can picture is Channing Tatum doing that. My name is Jeff. And let me know if you just want me to call you Jeff instead of Jeffro. I'm fine with either. I don't know if you have a preference. Is my bike not gonna pop for an upgrade? What the heck? Did I miss it? Am I losing it? I'm confused. If it doesn't pop at 5K, I'm gonna double check, because it very much said it had 4K left if I was not a space cadet. Which, as of right now, is very plausible. Okay. Oh no, it didn't pop. Did I miss it? Am I crazy? Yes, upgrades. Here, I'll show you. I actually need to do one right now. So, you see this little icon here? If you click on it, it'll show you that it's green. And then you just upgrade. And now I'm on to the next one, which is just more riding. Because I already have this one full leveled. I'm working on this one. So this one is on stage 3. This one's on stage 5, so... And it's typically based on the bike determines what you need to do to upgrade it. So, like an aero bike is all about kilometers, a climbing bike is all about vertical gain, and a time trial bike is just time on the bike. Which it's a little bit weird that these are straight kilometers. I guess they're aero bikes. Granted, they're both kind of rated well for climbing. I don't know. It's very weird. But I'm gonna call it. Let's warm up 4 races and a cool down. I am toast. I'm gonna go relax. If you did not see any of the races, definitely either check out the VOD, or you've got the VOD, you've got YouTube, and I will be uploading the YouTube video eventually. Basically, I have to get everything set up and actually have it load. So, video will probably be up hour and a half once it finishes processing. So you can either watch on Twitch or you can watch the video. If you're not pressed for time, I appreciate it when people watch the YouTube video because it gives more push to the YouTube, which means more eyes on eventually. Which, not like I'm trying to be some big content creator, but it helps. Maybe someday Zwift will actually recognize K for K and we'll actually get somewhere. Ha 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 ha. Never. Anyways, I'm gonna head off. I'll probably be back Monday. It might be a little bit later Monday because unfortunately my work scheduled something. So I'll try to get on as soon as that's over, but we'll see. It would be lovely if it gets canceled or ends early, so we'll see. But appreciate you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me suffer because that was a lot of suffering this morning. So I will see you all Monday. Have a good rest of your day.